width of the Mews Jessie that I use. Join the dots up, and then cut that strip off. That's times 2. You can measure your next piece out, or as I'm going to just use the other one. And that's the 2, and the length, so that's 10.5 inches. The next thing to do is make your button. So 3 turns will make 4 holes. I'm only roughly just folding these over. I am not measuring it, but just to show you what I'm doing, it is 15 millimeters. 15 millimeters. That's fold once, fold twice, fold 3 times. So there's 3 folds, and there's going to be 1 hole. You take your time and get that hole right in the center of that button. So 3 folds, 1 hole, ends up 4 holes. 1, 2, 3, 4. So what you've got to do when you're ready is fold, fold and fold, and then you pass this end through that end. On the other end that's going through that end, you're going to need a point. You can be as exact as you want. You can measure it, or you can just do what I'm doing. All I'm going to do is make a point. The point, if you're interested, is about 1 inch. What I'm going to do now is put a slit in there, and that slit, again, you can measure it from the top of that point. I'm going to go up about 1.5 inches. So from the beginning of the point up 1.5 inches, mark the centres, measure it, do it by eye, whichever you feel best. Join the dots up, cut. And there you've got your slit. What you want is this slit in the same place on the other one. That's the important thing. Now, to stop that tearing up or down, we just need a very small hole at the bottom of the slit. And you don't need one at the top, but I like to put one at the top. And that's it. Open up the knot and make sure that these ends are the same. So I'm going to do the point. I'm going to mark the bottom of the slit and the top of the slit. With the other one, cut. And put a couple of small holes in it. Now I'm going to fold these buttons up on both of them, and I want them the same way. I don't want to roll into the smooth side on one and into the rough side on the other. Not that it makes much difference, but I'm going to roll into the rough side. Put some Jess grease on there, because that's the last time I'm going to be getting at that part. Make sure all the holes line up as you're folding. otherwise you won't get the other end through. And then the last wrap around goes through, so a bit of Jess grease in there to help it pass through. That's why you need the point. And then you should be able to pull that through. You may have to get some pullers on there, but that grease should help pull that through. And then you just pull that knot square. Put a bit of grease on the rest of it. And do the same with the other one, bit of grease on the folds, line the holes up. The last one that would loop round, not back on itself, but make sure you go the right way and pull it through, and then just grease the rest of it. And all they do, put both through the D, open the slits, push the ring through and pull, and that's done. Right, my flying jesses, smallest hole I can find, and that's going to determine my width of these. So I want to leave a bit of meat on the outside. So that's going to be my width. Again, you can measure it. You can do it how you like. But you want 2 of these. So the flying jesses permanently attached, that will be in the anklet, and these pass through the anklet and then back through itself and then out that hole. So I'm going to put a point on one end. I will cut these down after they're on my hawk when I realise exactly how long I need them, but they go through. Pull tight like that, and now all I'm going to do is pass it back through. You could have this end longer and then trim it down after, but they just literally go through like that. Put another hole there. And then pass it back through itself. And that's how I attach the permanent flying jesses, or when the hawk is on my glove. As long as that comes right through my hand and I can grip it, I'll cut that off there and just put a small hole. In fact, I'll do it now because I know what it's going to be. Just to show you. And the smallest hole possible, just in the end like that, and that's where I put my little hook. So flying jesses and then Mews jesses. Mews jesses will be for tethering down, and when we go flying jesses, small hole there which I attach a tiny little hook to if I don't want him going off. But if he does, he'll always have his telemetry on anyway, so even if that broke, it wouldn't be a disaster. So it's just about making another one the same as that one then. careful as you wish. You can make these as neat as you want, but I haven't made it as neat as I could, but they're okay, and it's all practical, and that's what I'm after, the end result. I'm just going to show the way these soften up when you anneal them. Hopefully it'll be clear enough by the amount of pressure I need to close this up when they're not annealed. So this one isn't annealed. So you put these together. If you've not seen this, you choose the best side of this clamp ring and then keep that outermost. So that goes on each side of your anklet. I'll put this on there without the anklet in between because I don't want to seal my anklet, and that pops over the top like that. So you pop that over there, you pop that over there like that. So you've got the first ring, second ring, and the idea is you need to be squashing this centre outwards. This is exactly the same sort of rings as I use in camping and ground sheets, so you can use them for multi-purpose. If you imagine now we've got the anklets in between, I just want to show you the force that you need. Your bird's cast up now, there's two of you, so all you're doing is taking this round, and there's quite a bit of force there, quite a bit of, yeah, it's getting really tight now, and it's still loose, and there's a lot of force needed. There's probably better ways of doing this, different equipment, but I want to show exactly what I do to make life slightly easier. So that's it on. So that is now flattened over, and that ring can't come off. And what I'm going to do now is just heat this up evenly, because you don't want to really distort it. Till I see it going cherry red. And then drop it in the oil. And lift it out. So that now is annealed. You can see it's slightly off colour now, but that piece of brass is now annealed. So the same process again, best side down, then you would put these over next, but I'm not using that, so this is just a demonstration to show you what annealing does. And a little bit of oil that's on there as well. That is now so easy to wind up, and I can close that completely off like that and undo. So much easier if you just anneal it, but be careful not to overdo it. You can see that is now clamped around there, and that's it. That's how I do that.